Hey, hip hop. I wanted to ask you a question. I know your genes aren't very good. Your mom and dad died fairly young, and your brother died fairly young, and his kids. But you are 81 years old, and you don't have any health problems. You're active, you go to the gym, and I'm sure that's helped tremendously. But what do you think has brought you to a point where you're 81 years old and you have the energy of a 30-year-old? And I don't know, like, what do you think is the reason for this?
Well, let me say this. I'm not a doctor. I'm college educated, and I consider myself fairly smart. And I decided early on that I didn't want to end up like typical 81-year-olds where you walk like this. I said, no, that's not for me. I'd rather be dead than be in that condition. And I started reading, researching, and started taking vitamins at the age of 16 and added more. Started off like one a day, and I added more, and I started exercising. And the fountain of youth is really available for all people.
And what's the fountain of youth?
The fountain of youth, here's the problem though. You need to start it fairly early on if you really want it to be ultra effective and if you want to live to be, say, 100.
I mean, it's never too late to get healthy, but I understand what you mean.
No, it's never too late. It's better late than never.
Yeah.
However, if you start real late, you won't reap the full benefits. I'm sure of that. And my goal was to not look bad with a face full of wrinkles, a bald head, although there's a serious genetic component to that baldness, male pattern baldness. I read everything I could read. And even though I didn't go to college and study nutrition, I consider myself very knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition and exercise.
What do you do when you work out? I mean, we do have a video
Let
of
me
some
tell
of
you
them.
this. Let me tell you this. Young men especially, you want big biceps. You want big chest, big pectorals, tight stomach. The hell with the rest of it. So I did completely wrong when I first started working out. I concentrated on biceps, chest, pectorals.
Wait, so I'm confused. That's not the way to do it?
Hell no. You have to do a complete balance routine, and it took me years and injuries to come to that conclusion. But when you go to the gym, you try to work about every part of your body. And here's another thing. This is my regimen, and I think it's the very best for strength. Don't go in the gym and work every body part every time you go in there 3 times a week. That's baloney, in my opinion. All of this is my opinion. Go and work like me, for instance. I go to the gym and I might just work arms, biceps and triceps one day. A couple of days later, I'll come back and work chest, nothing but chest. Different exercises for the pectoral muscle.
What do you do any cardio?
Yeah. The thing is, I've got a bad back and I had to give up my jogging and stuff, but I walk a lot. Walking's extremely good for you. And a lot of people that live to be really old do a lot of walking.
What about your diet? What are some superfoods that you eat?
Well, protein. Protein is probably the most important. You
eat a lot of meat?
You try to eat right. You eat a lot of vegetables and fruits. Avoid sugar like it's a plague.
Yep. I mean, everybody I think knows at this point sugar is pretty much
Bad
poison.
carbs and sugar. No go. If you want a lot of wrinkles on your face, do three things, which I avoided all three. Smoke. I've never smoked in my life. Drink a lot of soft drinks and get a lot of sugar, Go out in the sun. Here I am.
Okay.
Ultraviolet rays, I welcome you on my skin.
These are things not to do, he
Avoid
says,
those things.
in his opinion, of course.
And if you do, you won't look that old.
I mean, you're obviously going to look older, but you get the drift. Yeah, I'm sure they
You
get
don't.
the drift. Yeah, you don't look like your typical 81-year-old, that's for sure.
That's what I'm trying to avoid.
What about stuff that's like mental? What would you say, is there a component of having fun? Because, I mean, you're 81, you rap, to karaoke, you know. Tell me the secret of that.
Okay. First of all, you have to enjoy life, and you have to have some kind of goals, and you have to be surrounded by people and family, and that keeps you going like crazy. The love of your family, grandchildren, which I got some great grandchildren, and man, without them, if I had never gotten married and didn't have that support, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I'd probably be dead.
Well,
Human
we are happy.
support, and especially your relatives, it's very important. Music is extremely important. I love most genres of music. There's only a few, and I'm not going to even say those. But I fell in love with music early, and I always liked to dance. I was never great, but I liked to try to dance.
Well, I think you danced
and I
pretty
did.
well.
There comes my
One of
boy,
your
my autistic boy.
One of your grandsons. Your
but-
first grandchild ever. Huh?
That's right, my big boy.
Hey, buddy. All right, I guess we're going to wrap it up for now. Thank you, Hip Hop.
Hey, gotta tell you this. Goodbye. Drink up. Always make it a ballsy beer.